Aha!
Aha! I'll let you
I
know that
found you at last.
I am just going live.
Nice. I want to go live too, but my thing's still messed up, so
Hmm.
I gotta fix it still. And I don't feel like doing it right now. But I probably should.
Hmm. Um. So, people have stormed the Capitol building.
Oh, joy.
It's actually Antifa. It's not Trump supporters though. It's Trump. It's Antifa dressed up as Trump supporters.
Hmm.
Right. How are you, buddy? You good?
Yeah, I'll just say a bit sore from my work, but I'm doing pretty good actually.
Right.
So one my finger is also pretty sore right now.
I
What
imagine it
too?
would be. Hmm.
Ah, the new skin has just started forming,
Hmm.
and the old skin is peeling off. And so the new skin under it is a kind of a tender, and it still kind of like hurts. But there's no broken bones. We're good. It it's just kind of
Tender.
a pink underneath.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's pink and then tender still. Fresh skin. So apparently,
Hmm.
Star Citizen Leaks has made a official comment about the recent video of a person flying the javelin on a modded.
Hmm.
They said that the person is not associated with them, mainly because he is a known racial a person. He's a huge racist, and they don't.
Dude, I'm streaming. Streaming, dude. Streaming.
Yeah, but I'm not saying names.
No, but like language, we can't say that sort of stuff on YouTube anymore because they like to ban people who say that shit. Yeah. But anyway,
Uh,
all right. So I'm gonna jump in and I'm gonna cover this Capitol Hill stuff. You can hang out if you want, or
yeah.
yeah, but we're going to talk about politics.
All right.
So I'm not sure if you want to hang around or not, but I'll leave it up to you. All right, guys. So sorry about that. We're just obviously getting set up here. What we we've had quite a development, and all right. So I'm waiting for people to start flowing in. Obviously, people are just starting to trickle in now. But Capitol Hill has been seized. And we're not entirely sure if it's actually Antifa or if it's Trump supporters. I'm getting a lot of reports that it's actually Trump supporters. It's Antifa. Or Antifa were dressed up as Trump supporters. So it mightn't actually be Trump supporters that are behind it. I love this. Someone's put out a photo of the Home Alone where Donald Trump is talking to Macaulay Culkin, and he says he was like giving him directions, but they've got on the captions. Mike Pence's office is down the hall and to the left. Alright. Actually, we might actually go through and make that image. Alright. Open. Pictures. That one. So there. Okay. All right. Copy link address. There we go. All right, guys. How are we all? How is everybody? Everybody's starting to trickle in now. My favorite Fox. What do you think of this clown show? Oof. Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it? Look, at the end of the day, obviously, when it comes to this, look, we're obviously, like I said, we're not sure if this is actually Antifa. I'm getting reports that it's Antifa dressed up as Trump supporters. We're going to go through it. We're going to break it all down. And, yeah. So the first thing we want to talk about is this. Right, so this guy was spotted at a Black Lives Matter rally in June. And he's now been spotted at the DC Capitol Hill in January, right? There he is there. You can see it's the same guy, same headpiece. I'm pretty sure that that headpiece is only the same one. It's only the same guy. Now, at the end of the day, why would a Black Lives Matter protester be a Trump supporter? So that's the first question I have to ask. Is at the end of the day, what is going on with that? Because at the end of the day, to me, that is kind of a little bit funny. That you have this guy who was at an Arizona Black Lives Matter rally in June, and now obviously he's gone through and supposedly was also, you can clearly see it's the same guy, but it's the same guy who was also at Capitol Hill. Generally, Trump supporters don't attend Black Lives Matter rallies, right? So that's the first thing that we're sort of seeing is a little bit weird, is that. Braveheart 2. Tactical verse, yeah, funny. You know, you're in Discord, you can talk, man. I don't care if you talk.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah.
Still.
Sure. Alright, second thing that we have is that we also have this. Let me see. So, I'll flick back to the funny GIF for the moment. So here's something. This is a point that I was making on Twitter. You know, obviously we're going through and we're having a lot of the left call for, you know, calling for the police to be intervened and having the police to arrest them and stuff like that. It's like, well, you know, like, hey, you know, if this is Trump supporters, and it's a big if at the moment, right? We're not quite sure. If it is Trump supporters, where were these calls for these rioters to be arrested back in January or February or March, April, May, June, July, August, September, November, December? You know, like, we've literally had, what, 6 to 9 months of Antifa and Black Lives Matter burning cities to the ground. And now all of a sudden that the, quote, Trump supporters are doing it. Now all of a sudden, oh no, now it's bad, right? Yeah, now it's real bad. So, you know, it's that. There also has been a casualty. We'll get to that in a sec. But we actually have another photo that is actually really, really interesting. And it's of one of the guys in the protesters. One of the protesters actually has a hammer and sickle on his hand as a tattoo. Here it is here. Here's a nice graphic photo for everybody to look at. So, right, check this guy out over here. And if we zoom in, there, I think that's it there. That to me looks like the hammer and sickle. So, you know, they're claiming that these are Trump supporters, right? This is what they're saying, that these are Trump supporters. But to me, Trump supporters having hammer and sickle as a tattoo, yeah, I really don't think so. I really, really don't. Now we have got a few funny photos coming out. So, like, we've got this photo here. But, like, even this photo here, right? This is the guy that was at the Black Lives Matter protest, right? Which in itself is weird. But then you get this guy here who's dressed up in black here. Like, if the media is trying to claim that these are Trump supporters, right? That's what they're saying. These are Trump supporters. Why is a guy dressed up in black gear? Don't know about you guys, but I definitely feel like there are people that are getting involved in this and who are instigating this situation just because of the fact that they are obviously trying to go through and trying to make the situation seem like it's worse. They're trying to flare tensions, right? And look, we know Antifa doesn't necessarily always support the left. Antifa will obviously just go through, and the whole MO is just chaos, right? So at the end of the day, if this was Antifa, right, and people are going to be sitting there going, "Oh, why is Antifa signing up with MAGA?" Well, the fact is that they just want chaos. They don't care who brings it. So, to me, this is probably the easiest way to do it. If you want chaos, if you want to go through and cause problems, get your guys dressed up as Trump supporters and go in and break into the Capitol Hill building. It's probably the easiest way to get it done. Now, there was graphic footage of a lady. I won't show it, but she's been shot in the neck, I believe it was. And she has actually Congress and telling them any kind of investigation into this and what's happening. So reports are that she was actually shot by the security guards. She was shot in the neck and she's bled out. You can see it in the footage. I don't want to show it because it's pretty graphic, guys. And I don't want to give YouTube a reason to take this video down as it is. But we do have this as well. Antifa will wear mega gear at the 6th of January rally. Just in case, I spoke to my Antifa operative in Portland. She says that the ones going to DC are going to wear camouflage, cut off, and Trump paraphernalia to blend in, but turning their mega hats backwards for identification. So feel free to pass it along. So you have this person here who's going through and is telling people that, you know, that yes, that she has been told that Antifa is turning up to this rally. They are planning on infiltrating it, and they are going to be wearing mega paraphernalia, which is getting back to like this sort of stuff, right? These sort of guys. You know, like this guy here, like I said, you know, this guy here was originally at a DC march, Arizona march for Black Lives Matter. Now, look, he might have been at the Black Lives Matter march to counter-protest, maybe. But I don't know. It seems like it's really weird if that was the case. I don't know what you guys think, but let me know. And you've, yeah. So there's apparently he's holding a sign, "Hold the line, Patriots," but that kind of looks different to that. Q sent me, like, I don't know. This guy seems like he's a bit of a, yeah, I don't know. Citizen arrest was made, and most were Antifa. Okay, wow. Have you got something to sort of link to that, Derek? I can post it, man. Let us know. Post it in chat if you can. So at the end of the day, yeah, like it's still very developing. The one good thing that comes out of this is that if they actually go through and cause this to last a decent length of time, it can force Trump to be re-elected. But you know, that's a big if too, by the way. Also, while we're also having this as well, Israel has just launched a counter-attack or attack against Palestine, I believe. Yeah. This Syria girl is claiming. Let me put this up on the screen for you guys. People are saying those who stormed Capitol are disguised as Antifa. Stop. Antifa would never have the guts to do something like this. They're not patriots. They're deep state gang. They're all good as destroying small businesses and slapping people for wrong thing. That I disagree with. At the end of the day, I would very much disagree with that statement. We have seen Antifa going through and burning buildings for months now. So to claim that they're not capable of doing this, I think is a very, very big underestimation of them. Hammer and sickle tattoo says it all. Yeah, pretty much. That's the thing that really sold me, right? Was this here, this tattoo is the hammer and sickle. That to me says that this is actually Antifa. This is not Trump supporters. This is Antifa. Was live, 20 feeds, most went down except for Portland Andy. Q doesn't exist, what a moron. Yeah, this can we talk about this QAnon thing? Because I've been trying to claim to people that people need to wake up from this QAnon for months. And I've copped a bit of flack from it. I got into a argument with one of my friends over it, since being banned from his Discord. But at the end of the day, as far as I know, Q is a pig farmer in the Philippines. Okay? This whole QAnon thing, it's a psyop. If anything has been proven over the past 4 years, it's a psyop. Here's another interesting photo. Someone's saying, does this dude look mega to you? He doesn't really, but you know. So Trump has obviously released a statement telling everybody to go home. They're trying to blame Trump for it now. Just responding to the to Huffington Post, just saying to him about the hammer and sickle tattoo. I know they probably won't care, but you know, hey, it's all information warfare, right? Alright, what else have we got that's happening at the moment? He's not their special club. They blame Trump on... Yeah, they do. They do. They blame everything on him. Yeah, dude, I don't believe in this QAnon thing, man. It's always this trust the plan shit and, you know, like, release the Kraken and stuff. Like, not to speak ill of Sidney Powell or anything like that, but answer me this. What the fuck has the Kraken done? Seriously. If the Kraken was real, where is it? You know. But anyway. So we have this. See, like, that guy there. Alright, let's go back to that. What's this guy here? The only reason you would think he is mega is because of the armband. Well, shit, man, I can go get an armband, wrap that around my arm, and I can claim to be Antifa by that means. This guy to me looks like Black Bloc. This looks like Black Bloc Antifa tactics. Now they're cracking one ear about stuff. But, you know, like, this is Antifa tactics to me. Them going through doing this stuff. This is Antifa. This isn't Trump supporters.
Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here!
Like, that guy doesn't even have any Trump gear on. What makes you think he's Trump supporters? Neither does that guy. No Trump gear. He does have a camera, though. Could probably find out who he is through the live stream. So, yeah, apparently that happened. They're saying protesters now. They're not labelling them. That's interesting. Yeah, people are saying in the comment, that's Antifa too. I'd agree. They're changing Black Lives Matter slogans. Let's have a listen. Like, using the flag to attack people? That's definitely... That's the shit Antifa does. So you can see the Trump supporters are in the background, right? But that's not the people going through and attacking stuff. That to me is Antifa.
To force protest.
We have this video that's just come out.
You can see tear gas being used by Capitol Police to force protesters back. It's not working. People have been breaching the Capitol steps for going on almost an hour now. You can see tens of thousands, probably well over 100,000 at this point in time on the front lawn of the Capitol lawn. And right behind us, police in riot gear, they have been forced back. They were once right here. They are now been forced back 50 yards. And Mike, look up there. They got up there even. And you can see protesters even inside the Capitol at this point. Just too many people coming out of the Capitol. Too many people and not enough police. You can see tear gas.
So even these flags
being used
here,
by Capitol.
that flag, I have not seen that flag at a Trump rally before. They took a flag and that flag, I have not seen that flag before. I don't know if anybody in chat has seen it. If you have, let me know. I have not seen that flag before.
Police to force protesters back. It's not working. People have been breaching
Like even this flag down here, I have not seen that one either.
the Capitol steps for going on an hour.
That one, I haven't. I think that's Antifa flag, isn't it? I think that is an Antifa flag.
Almost an hour now. You can see tens of thousands, probably well over 100,000 at this.
Punisher flag. So who is that? Trump supporters or? Oh yeah, Trump medal, Punisher skull, American flag design. So you can buy them. They're actually $69.99 if anybody's interested. There's a link there. So maybe it is Trump's. Trump supporters in queue. Okay, so it is ours. Yeah, okay, cool. My future waifu actually has a very, very good point. And this is the point that I've been making for a while now. This is my point. People have been taught the last year that violence and rioting is not only an acceptable form of political expression, but one that works on changing policy. I absolutely condone it, but this is the precedent that has been set. Unsurprising, all sides are now partaking. You can't blame Trump supporters, if it ends up being Trump supporters, right? You can't blame them for this. What they have seen from the left for months is them rioting, burning, getting their way. And now all of a sudden the media now cares about this. Oh wait, now it's a problem. Really? Where were you when the rioting was happening down in Philadelphia? Riots are Antifa and Black Lives Matter. Yeah, I think there's also... Look, I do want to say that there's... Yes, I do think that some of these people are Antifa. But I also think some of them are Trump supporters. A lot of Trump supporters are the ones... Like, this is not all Antifa. Let's be honest. There is Trump supporters in amongst that riot. That screaming, this thing, whatever you want to call this.
On the front lawn of the Capitol.
That's Trump supporters down there.
And right behind.
It was Trump supporters that have gone through and broken through the 4 lines of security before this happened.
Police in riot gear, they have been forced back. They were once right here. They are now been forced back 50 yards. And Mike, look up there. They got up there even. And you can see protesters even inside the Capitol at this point. Just too many people coming out of the Capitol. Too many people and not enough police.
So, yeah, like I said, I get they aren't getting paid either. That's true. That's true. Like, at the end of the day, I get why people are... If this ends up being Trump supporters, I get it. I honestly do get why they are doing it. Because at the end of the day, for the past 6 to 12 months, they've been told that at the end of the day, rioting works. What was the major outcome from the things like the Philadelphia riots for Black Lives Matter? We had cities kowtow for Black Lives Matter, spraying Black Lives Matter on the streets and stuff like that. What did you think was going to happen when you go through and not only say this is acceptable... Oh, we have the guy's name. The guy with the horns on his head. 4chan have done their stuff. His name is actually Jake Anjoli. He is an actor, voiceover artist, singer, Philadelphia, and yeah. He's an actor. That's a little bit weird, isn't it? We got some photos from inside. Riots are Antifa and Black Lives Matter. They aren't being paid either. This will spread if not melted. Tried to warn. 4 years they're watching the Dems act like thugs. Exactly. No worries. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Sokomat. I have a Q silencer. At the end of the day, like this is the thing, right? Like when Brett Kavanaugh went through and was accepted into the actual office. We had the Democrats trying to beat down the doors to protest. Now, you want to give the Trump supporters credit. Apparently the Trump supporters are more interesting at it than, or more efficient at it than the Democrats are. This is an interesting post. Have a look at this one. Strange how DC Mayor Brower was okay with this before. So this is Washington with obviously rioting and fires and stuff like that. Antifa bashing and beating up and destroying limos and private property and stuff. And obviously overturned cars and stuff like that. And that's my argument at the end of the day. If you had a problem with this months ago, then you probably could have nipped it in the butt. But you said this was acceptable. You went through and showed everybody that this is okay. Because not only is it okay, but it's the way to get what you want.
I'm watching guys around.
What did you think was going to happen? Trump supporters are seeing the left. If this is Trump supporters, right? Big if. But they're going through and they're seeing Antifa smash and destroy places and getting what they want. So okay, we'll do the same thing. What else did you think was going to happen if you allow this?
By accident, he gets for young guys. They're sketchy. They got knee pads on, all this shit. I was a fighter. I'm sizing guys up and stuff. We're here for 4 or 5 hours. Suddenly a guy goes flying by us and falls down. He gets up. Somebody tripped him by accident. He gets up. He makes a run for the gate. 30 seconds later, there was like 50 of them all storming the gate. I'm like, that's not a fucking coincidence. And somebody said, hey, it's on CNN. A minute later, it's on CNN. That's fucking sketchy. Then this other stuff was on. These guys went running there, and they all stormed the gate. They're pushing. I'm like, we've all been peaceful protesters here all day, and suddenly these guys are all pushing forward. And like, what the fuck is that all about? Suddenly they're all running up the hill. We're all standing back like, wow, okay, don't do that. That's not cool. Next thing you know, they're all running. And then I see other guys with black black jackets on, a couple kids on bikes going, come on, get in here. I'm like, I'm watching.
Well, that's what Antifa does, is they cover their faces, and they always wear arm pads and knee pads. So you're saying you saw what you believe was provocateuring?
I do. I sincerely saw it. I've been here for 4 hours. I was with my
Did the
buddy.
police arrest him, or they let him go?
When we left our hotel, my buddy goes, should we take weapons? I go, no, we're not going to take weapons. And then later on I walked up to my buddy and goes, hey, did you take that weapon with you? Because I'm watching these fucking guys, because I didn't take it with me. I was like, all right, I'm just keeping an eye on the crowd. But these guys were sketchy, and they were young.
So what ended
They're
up
all
happening?
padded up.
What ended up happening?
What happened was, Alex, they all got together. They got the call, like, go, now's the time. And they all got together and they stormed the front right over there.
That's because Trump was about to arrive. So right as Trump announced he was coming, and right as he was about to get here, they did that so he wouldn't do it.
Right, and it was on social media before like a minute before.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. I had to go poo. I literally just finished eating before I jumped on. Alright, so where were we? So look, at the end of the day, he's sort of basically saying what we thought is the fact that everybody was peaceful. until these protesters turned up and they started going through and smashing through the fences and stuff. Hang on, I have to mute TV. Alright, so we have this from Fox.
Rope lines. It was real. But at the same time, as I listened to some anchors on other networks describing what was happening, you would have thought it was a full-on riot with armed looters going through the building when, as I watched at least on a number of occasions, looking at the Statuary Hall, the protesters who had invaded the Capitol were walking between the rope lines. It was really a remarkable scene. We have not heard, but I have only heard, of one instance of violence, that the woman that we just reported, who was reportedly shot. We do not know by whom. But at the same...
So, yeah. What's this video?
Who you with?
Hey, I'm with Getty.
Who you with?
Hey, I'm with Getty.
Fraud issues or voting irregularities, but because they wouldn't actually achieve their objective. They all knew that they had no chance of actually overturning the election, but they could have it both ways. But the problem is they gave a lot of people false hope, and they got a lot of people fired up, and now we're seeing the consequences of that play out. And this is just absolutely unacceptable. The president needs to call it off. These people need to stand down. I mean, this is America. This is the United States Capitol. And we're sitting here with our walls barricaded, our doors barricaded. Someone was shot at the U.S. Capitol. The closest thing at the U.S. Capitol, the closest thing that I can think of that this reminds me of is the time I spent in Iraq in 2007 and 2008.
Is insurrection too strong a word, Congressman?
You know, the problem is,
so this
it's
is
like
Mike
everyone's in
Geller.
a rush to label everyone else a traitor. I just want this to stop, and we have to support the peaceful transition of power. I mean, that's it. We have to accept the fact that the election's over. And the more we traffic in the idea that somehow Congress is going to overturn the results of the election, the more we incite dangerous things like this. And that's just unacceptable.
So
it's over. I wish Republicans had won. It sucks. I get
he's
it.
a Republican.
But, you know, there are consequences to going down this road.
Congressman Gallagher, it's Ed O'Keefe of CBS
From
News. Thank you again for
Wisconsin.
joining us.
So,
as you said,
yeah,
you're not
battleground
one of
states.
those objecting to the results of the Electoral College. You were among the Republicans who reluctantly accept these results and want to move on. I know you made a
In other words, he's deep state, everybody.
titles and blame and whatnot, but it does seem like your party especially, and your House conference most of all, is going to have a serious conversation with itself about what it has allowed to occur today. And I just wonder whether you think that conversation will happen, could happen, and what might transpire.
Well, the conversation is going to happen in the next few hours. And the objectors are going to have to ask themselves whether they seriously want to persist in their objections after what they've seen today. And again, knowing that what they're doing has no chance of being successful, that it is all a stunt.
Paul and Andy.
I mean, that's a pretty cynical ploy. right there. So at a minimum, when we get back together at a conference, I think we all have to say we're not going to persist in the objection. We support the peaceful transfer of power, and we're done perpetuating this fiction that somehow Congress has the authority to overturn the results of the states.
Congressman, to what degree have you been communicated with by leadership about what will happen tonight? Will you reconvene? I've been told that it's possible that the House may reconvene, not in the chamber itself, but in the Ways and Means Committee room.
If that message came down, I missed it. I haven't gotten that. So, you know, I've heard nothing formally from leadership right now. I would imagine they're trying to figure it out. And all the focus right now is just on making sure this thing doesn't escalate any further, making sure that the, now violent protesters disband, abide by the curfew. But I have not heard anything about when we're going to reconvene.
Do you believe it's necessary for Congress to send a message that it get back to business as soon as possible?
Yes, 100%. I think it's necessary for Congress to send the message that we support the peaceful transition of power and that we, as the federal government, don't have the right to overturn the will of the states and, by extension, the American people. That is sort of Schoolhouse Rock Constitution 101.
Congressman Mike Gallagher, we thank you so very much for joining us. Chip Reed, I believe, is near Capitol Hill and has some new information to share with us. Chip?
Yeah, I'm just on Constitution Avenue, just outside the Senate. Two things here. Number one, there were about a group of about 20 media with cameras at the Senate swamp site, which you are certainly well familiar with, just out at the bottom of the Senate steps. And out of nowhere, we were suddenly surrounded by about 40 or 50 protesters who started chanting things that I can't repeat about the media on TV. They started throwing bottles. They started pushing people. They picked up the metal fences that we were surrounded by and throwing them at us. And we, for our own safety, evacuated the area, but we did stay long enough to get some pretty good video of them smashing the equipment, cameras, sound equipment, everything they could get their hands on. They just completely took over that
I just
spot
checked Portland and
as they shouted USA, USA, and God bless America. Now I'm just across the street at the Russell Senate office building, and I just saw a column of, I would estimate, between 120 and 150 police officers. And by the way, the Capitol grounds is now completely surrounded by police, and there are helicopters above. And I saw this column of 120 to 150 police officers walking three abreast, all of them in helmets and flak jackets, walking down Constitution Avenue and turned in the direction of the Capitol grounds. You know, there is a 6 o'clock curfew in Washington. They may be timing some kind of move, this might suggest that, to start clearing the Capitol grounds of these protesters in time for that, or sometime in the vicinity of that 6 o'clock curfew.
Chip, I must ask you, were you injured at all in this fracas? Were any of our colleagues injured? And where were the police? Where were the police? Did you have any sense
so
that you...
on that, we actually have this video.
Police are squabbling with protesters. Oh. Police are squabbling with protesters. Oh, there we go. And they just breached the Capitol again. Police are squabbling with protesters. Oh,
they let them in. No, I heard it was in the neck division. I heard it was in the neck.
There we go.
But that was an initial report too, so it might have changed since then.
And they just breached the Capitol again.
They let him in.
Capitol.
Heartbreaking.
And to hear you say that, Chip, I know as someone who's worked on Capitol Hill for many years, it's sad to see this happening at this hour, to have to be wearing a flak jacket and a helmet, not only anywhere in the United States of America, but on near our United States Capitol. And that's what's happening at this hour. You have law enforcement descending on the U.S.
What exactly is the rioting going on?
To try and disperse this crowd from the Capitol. It is nightfall now here in Washington, D.C. The mayor of the District of Columbia Mayor Muriel Bowser has ordered a citywide 6 p.m. curfew. It's my understanding that it has been communicated to protesters that that curfew will be enforced by arrest. It appears they have already used tear gas and other materials. I want to bring in Jeff Pegues, who is right there on the scene. And Jeff, has that messaging had any effect?
I doubt it.
Slowly but surely, I think it is having an effect out here, Nora. We see a line of police officers in the rotunda here pushing the crowd of protesters back. And in fact, if you look here to my left, you will see that more of the protesters are streaming from this area, which suggests that police are being more successful in their efforts to clear this Capitol area. Now that the sun has gone down, nightfall has come, and that curfew that you mentioned is fast approaching. So their efforts are paying off a little bit more. We see that there are stragglers.
So hang on, let me get this straight. The protesters or rioters stormed the building, took over the Capitol Hill, but when asked by the police center, could they please go home, they're like, oh, okay, oh, sure, okay. Is that what you're expecting me to believe?
Pegues, who is right there just off the west front of the Capitol, where 2 weeks from now we'll be covering the inauguration of President-elect Joe Biden, which is what today was supposed to be about. Really a ceremonial effort in a joint session of Congress to count the electoral votes, and then tens of thousands of Trump supporters coming from the White House, incited by the President of the United States and encouraged to incite violence. And that's exactly what they carried out. There has been violence on Capitol Hill. A woman shot, transported to the hospital in critical condition. Additional other, we're not clear who they are. One person who was trying to climb the walls also fell and fractured some bones, transported. A number of injuries reported by the D.C. Metro Police, who are now on the scenes, aided by members of the National Guard. We've seen members of the FBI elite unit inside the Capitol. What they're trying to do is, we're seeing outside the Capitol. We don't have cameras inside. What they're also trying to do is essentially clear step by step inside the Capitol. And
room by room, corridor by corridor.
And every office building as well.
And every office building, because as Senator Tammy Duckworth and other lawmakers we've spoken with today told us, they want to keep going.
And I just heard from another senator who says they still don't know when, where, or how they might reconvene tonight, but they certainly want to.
Stick and stay.
And I think, do we have that shot of the west front of the Capitol again? With the expansive look at the lawn.
That right there you can see is...
This is Pennsylvania Avenue, but it's hard to tell.
Control room, do we have a sense of where exactly that is?
Either way, what we were conveying with images a little while ago is that while this is an intense crowd, it is not a large crowd at this point.
It has begun to thin, it appears, and with the exception of what Chip Reed just reported to us, a full-on assault of members of the media on the east front near the swamp site. That's an area just at the foot of the Senate stairs on the east front of the Capitol. That area is largely empty, it appears, by all the video shots that we've seen, the live footage. So it appears what remains of the crowd has concentrated to the degree it has on the west front. And I would just point out that for those who were chanting God bless America and USA, USA, that is utterly incompatible with assaulting members of the media. Your First Amendment right to assembly is guaranteed in the Constitution. So is the free press. And they are not at odds. They're only at odds when you act like...
Hang on, wasn't it the mainstream media months ago that said, show me in the Constitution where protesters have to be peaceful? Wasn't it the media, the CNN, that claimed that? Now they're turning around claiming that you're not allowed to riot because it's unconstitutional? Oh my fucking God, are they serious?
Now, live pictures. Come on, guys, go home. You hear the Metro Police trying as peacefully as possible. Let's listen into this.
small criminal class that's running this country. Y'all don't do anything else. You stand with us. You don't go to church on Sunday. You got to wake up, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Love you guys. We still support you.
Not only supporters of the president, but supporters of Jesus gathered as well, concerned about and protesting, which is a right, but this has gone beyond protesting, as has now placed the lives of law enforcement and others in danger, as well as the destruction
The
to
same
federal
law
property.
enforcement that the left want to defund, right? Are you kidding me? Are they seriously trying to pull this shit? The poor police officers. It's like, but you were wanting to defund them months ago. Watch Antifa live on YouTube at Portland Andy. He turned off his stream, didn't he? Probably no, he turned his stream off. He's finished streaming. Oh no, he's still live.
As long as you like me, fuck it, dude.
Okay, I need to find.
Fucking give it. I don't care who you like.
Yeah, he's not watching Antifa, bro. No, you're right. He is still streaming. He might have shut it down for a second and then restarted it. But he's not watching Antifa. He's on Right Side Broadcasting and stuff like that. So, yeah. RSB is Right Side Broadcasting, but we could probably actually bring that link up, actually.
Western Australia homeowners can now
going to see random acts of violence. Yeah. We're not going to see any of that from this group. We are going to be under curfew shortly if we're not already. I haven't checked my watch, but I'm sure we're approaching 6 o'clock.
All right, so we should probably we'll start to head back.
I'm not so worried about it. I think that the real problem is not going to be at the stroke of 6. We're all going to turn into pumpkins, but you know, you don't want to be the last one out on the streets on a night like tonight. So because I believe it's probably time for us to start heading back very soon. But I'm not saying that it has to be in the next 5 minutes.
It's interesting because we have not seen so far any of the, anti-Trumper movement out here, and I would imagine we've seen at the rallies they show up at night. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they wouldn't be tonight, but that's a different conversation, I guess, for another day. But boy, when
I was up there, I had absolutely no service. I was trying to get pictures out. Yeah. I mean, they're all on my phone. Didn't anticipate this. I didn't have enough memory space in the phone. It was full. I had to delete old files, and I can't upload the stuff from my GoPro yet. It'll be interesting to see what I got. I know that I have some unusual vantage points there with a little 360 shot. It's maybe it'll help convey to some people what it was like to be up there when I get that posted.
I got a lot of direct messages from family and friends that said, "Oh my goodness, you have got to get out of there." It looked a very dangerous situation, and it was. But I will say that we are safe, and nothing bad happened. But it did get a little sketchy at one point.
Losing your liberty is a dangerous situation too, though.
That's true.
And so there's a balance there. And I wasn't asked to go up there. I just felt like I felt safe enough that I would do it, and at the point where I felt unsafe is when I began going back to the hotel.
Okay. I don't know if this is an odd time to go ahead and thank our patriot Mike Lindell over at mypillow.com, but you know what? This broadcast, and he's a patriot of this network. We want to thank him for being such a great partner in all of our content. So right now, go over to mypillow.com, and put in the promo code RSBN, that's RSBN, and get up to 66% off. The only reason why I'm saying this is all about freedom. This is all about being an American. He's an American. He loves freedom. He's got a great company that supports patriotism and freedom, and I think it's time for all of us to go support him as well.
And not only that, how can you not help but be moved by his story of redemption? It's impossible.
Yeah.
If you read about him and how honest he is about his past and the path that he took forward to get to where he is now, it's very moving. And perhaps this election needs to be redeemed as well.
Yeah. If you want to follow me on social media, you can go ahead. I'm Brian Glenn TV, BrianGlenn TV. Brian Glenn across the board. And Brick, go ahead and give yours.
Brick Suit on Twitter, mostly just at Brick with the _ suit. So Brick _ suit. And on Instagram at Brick Suit.
Yeah, it's been what an eventful day that we've had so far. Thank guys. How you doing? Thank you. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't really read it right now. Post. Oh, wonderful. Okay, thank you. But wow, what a day. I want to get your thoughts. I mean, you guys have been out here all day. We ran into you by chance. By chance. We follow each other on Instagram, obviously. But what are your thoughts on what you saw today? Okay.
Honestly, it's crazy. Obviously we're making history. There's violence. I don't know what side is causing the violence. When I went with my phone up to try to see who was doing what, and we got tear gassed, and so we had to move back.
When I was in the thick of it, I only saw the cops initiating the tear gas. The cops initiating the...
Yeah, no, the cops were initiating the tear gas, and they threw flashbang grenades at us, so we just kept getting pushed back.
There were some rubber bullets, the tear gas, and the pepper spray. I got pepper sprayed in my eyes. Yeah. It's in my hair, so whenever my hair gets in my eyes, I get
It's painful. I will say that. It's painful, and it got me, it almost made me throw up at one point. It was choking like that. But...
you can't even filter enough air out for the tear gas. It just gets you in the lungs. You can't cough it out. It's just very arresting. I honestly I'm thankful they're not using tasers, but that's not an excuse to be using these measures.
Yeah. And we were talking about this. They didn't do this during Antifa and all the riots but against us. Do we want to switch batteries real quick? We're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to dip into black, but don't worry. We'll just change. Yeah, we're just going to change batteries on the camera. Batteries. I can't say our inner battery's fresh. I'm a little tired. I'm a little cold because it's been one of those couple of days. Last night that pre-rally was rough. It was rainy and cold.
If I didn't head back to California, I'd be ready for another day. This is the news, and this is what we try and get here to cover for you. This is not like what we're built for, but it's undeniable that this is important to our country, and it's undeniable that it's unprecedented, and it's going to be. The amount of media that's going to come out today, everybody's got a cell phone, lots of cameras. It's going to be sobering for people to see what happened here. And for the people who weren't here at the Capitol, who wanted to come to D.C., they're going to get a really good picture of what transpired. And As I understand, I have unconfirmed reports that this may have happened in other states. People, and I don't know this.
That's a good question. I thought about that myself, of how many places around this country, in Michigan and in Pennsylvania, those battleground states.
Right. I don't have. I mean, and literally, my source is people coming by and saying, "I'm reading this, and this happened in Georgia,"
Right.
and so I do not know if it's true or not, but given what I saw here today, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me as well. If you would, please make sure you're following us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. If you're just watching this perhaps on YouTube, follow us on our other social media platforms, as we will continue to bring you coverage as it happens. And real quickly, I want to make sure, because you've got a great podcast. So let's give out your podcast and your information.
Unsilent Podcast is the name. You can find me on Instagram, and my actual podcast is anywhere you stream your podcast. It's Unsilent Podcast.
I just want to make sure you got a nice little shout out for that. Here we are. Different scenarios we were just about 30 minutes ago, as it was got to a point that was a little scary, but now that we're down here and we have a little bit of room to move around, it's a very different situation. We're going to let this go. Yeah. All right. Joe, let's go ahead and walk out this way. We're wrapping the light over here. We're going to go ahead and walk out towards Pennsylvania Avenue and head back to our hotel and our apartments. And I don't know if we have some coverage planned later from our remote studio. Perhaps we'll bring you some additional coverage as it happens. But we're going to definitely head back out this way, as we were happy to be able to get in the mix and show you the events of today. It has not been easy to do that, not only physically but emotionally, because none of us want to witness what we've seen today so far. That is something that Brick. I'm just being honest. That's not what I wanted to see today at all.
See that at all. I didn't want to see that either. I mean, what I wanted to see is everybody here peacefully.
You can't see the stream? You can't see it? Is that better? Let me know, Derek. Is that better? Yeah, you see it. Okay, yeah, fine. Maybe refresh, Derek. Maybe it might be something.
There were a group of people that won the Capitol, and boy, that was a bottleneck.
Okay, yeah,
all right,
else sees it.
Brick Suit, Brian Glenn here for Right Side Broadcasting. We are signing out. Until next time, goodbye. God bless. We'll see you later.
What would you do if you realized the media was lying to you? I'm Joshua Phillip.
Switching over to NDT.
This is rubbish. I thought it was. We're still live? I don't know where we're live. Yeah. Shoot over. I'll go ask. Are we still live? We need to check.
Yeah. I'm check. I tell them to cut down the live. So you want to change battery now? So we are not live? Yeah, we are not live now.
You sure?
I got a video from earlier today. It's my video.
Can you send it to me? We can credit you. We use it. Oh, wow. Really? Is that
Yeah,
today?
they shot her. That's the one that got shot.
Really? Can you send me that?
Air, if you can do air, I know.
Yeah.
Can you like record it on your phone? And that seems to be easier if you can record it from her phone. Like as it's playing, because sending is sucks.
What about AirDrop? It's like Bluetooth. I can show you if you could try and share it. Oh, is this an Apple?
No, it's an Android.
Oh, that's an Android. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, bummer. I don't really know then.
Bring up your camera and just record.
Really? I want to use it in the news. It's kind of.
So. Oh wow. Philadelphia and Antifa.
Three and four up front. 3 and 4 up front. 3 and 4 up front. Move back. Move back. Move back. Move back. Move back. Move back.
I have 44 messages to review before I'm even caught up at this point. So you're banned.
Just saying, the woman in the Capitol building has died. She was shot. It's been confirmed.
You're banned? I'm not a snowflake. I'm having a blast right now. I'm not even hurt whatsoever. I'm having such a good time. You're banned. You're banned. Do I have Pelosi's hard drive now? Hi, Lisa. How are you doing? Lisa says, why is everyone so...
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election.
We just also have this too. Election day nears, comrades. Prepare to defend your rights. Antifa comrades. November 4th, don't forget to disguise yourself as patriot Trump supporters. Wear MAGA hats, USA flags, for insignias, and convince people uniform is even better. A convincing police uniform is even better. Now, this was back on the 3rd and 4th, but it just goes to show that they do dress up as Antifa. We have this photo too. People are saying he's Antifa, not MAGA. So apparently her name was Roberta Perkinson. Someone's saying that this here, the fist in the air, it's not Trump supporters, it's Antifa, which I'd agree with.
Can you show us your hand?
Yeah.
How did you get that on your hand?
Well, we had stormed into the chambers inside, and there was a young lady who rushed through the windows. A number of police and Secret Service were saying, get back, get down, get out of the way. She didn't heed the call, and as we kind of raced up to grab people and pull them back, they shot her in the neck, and she fell back on me. And
so she was shot in the neck.
Can you just start with your first and last name and where you're from?
Yeah, I'm Thomas Barani from New Jersey.
Can you show us your...
What was his name?
Where you're from?
Yeah, I'm Thomas Barani from New Jersey.
Thomas Barani from New Jersey. Sure, 4chan's working on that right now.
Persist. Now, too many see the protests as the problem. No, the problem is what forced your fellow citizens to take to the streets. Persistent and poisonous inequities and injustice. And please, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful. Now, too many see the protests as the problem. No, the problem is what forced your fellow citizens to take to the streets. Persistent and poisonous inequities and injustice. And please, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful. Now, too many see the protests as the problem.
After curfew now. Now, were you here earlier when the people stormed the Capitol?
I've been here all day.
Can you describe what that was like?
Well, I wasn't during the actual storming where they were breaking into the place and going into the offices. I never made it into the Capitol personally. Unfortunately, I wish I had. But the objective was disrupt the session, and we will continue disrupting the session as long as we need to. That is the bottom line of this whole thing, and that is what's going to keep on happening.
Do you think after people breached the Capitol walls, do you think it was an appropriate response that the police took, or was it excessive?
I mean, they're just doing their jobs, but we got tear gassed. Some of us got beat, not me, but some of us got whiplashed by the batons. Some of us got the old shield to the face, you know. It is what it is.
We saw some of what he was describing, by the way.
I'm sorry?
I was just saying we saw some of what you were describing, people getting hit.
Oh, yeah, you've got footage of it, I'm sure. Yeah, sure. No, they're in riot gear, but as you know, we're all civilians, we're unarmed. Nothing bad is going on here. We're just people, we're Americans just like them. The DJ over there is playing Bob Marley. He was playing John Lennon 5 minutes ago. Nothing bad is going to happen here, and that's what's most important. The only thing that's going to happen here is something good. Democracy will be upheld.
We have this. So yeah, guys, my only problem with this, whole thing is at the end of the day, that they're going to use it as an excuse to shut down the debate. That's my problem with this whole thing. Yeah, I think people are reacting this way because Trump's lost. I think this is people realizing, well, Pence has said that he's not going to do anything to defend. Pence has basically said that, you know, at the end of the day, he's not going to stick up for Trump. So people are just like, well, fuck it. If you're not going to do it, we'll do it. So, yeah. Yeah, it's shut down now. Yeah. As
And this election will be restored.
We'll probably wrap it up here, guys.
And as we're walking,
do you want us to keep
if you want to take a look here, just for kind of a scale. So
do you want us to keep
Capitol
covering,
right
guys,
there.
or do you want us to shut it down?
And the protesters had actually kind of, there was some rafters here. So follow me a little bit. So we can get, I just want to show the viewers a little bit of depth to what happened. So right there is the rafters where they had breached. I hope you can see it, it's a little bit dark. And so since then, over the course of 30 minutes, the police pushed back, and now they're basically right here. See, they set up these barricades, and the police have pushed everybody.
See, that's the thing, right? I get it. If this was, in the end, if it was Trump supporters, I get the frustration, right? Because at the end of the day, what they currently have is they have an election that they see, which with right, and the biggest problem about this whole situation, this all could have been avoided. All the Supreme Court had to do was gather the evidence and rule on the evidence. If the Supreme Court had to turn around and said that this election, yes, we have gone through, we have investigated it, it is legit, everything is fine, there is no voter fraud, this wouldn't have happened. This is happening right now because people are fed up, because the Supreme Court is like, well, you know, you might have handed it in too late, this one might have been too early, oh, whoop-de-doo, procedural, sorry, we're not going to bother looking at the evidence. So Trump supporters are like, but you're not even looking at the evidence that we've got. They're like walking up to the Supreme Court with a file case full of evidence. And it's the equivalent of the Supreme Court turning around saying, well, the file case is the wrong colour, so we're not going to bother with it. And then they sit there and wonder why this stuff happens. If they had sat there and gone through the evidence, you know, this wouldn't have happened, because they could have turned around and said, yes, that this is how it happened, this is why we have this is why this has happened, and just gone through and worked through the evidence. If they hadn't done that, this would have taken the wind out of this movement. Because people would be like, okay, well, the Supreme Court's ruled in the decision. It sucks, but okay, we got our decision. But the fact is that the Trump supporters can't even get the Supreme Court to look into this. That's the thing that's frustrating them the most. It's not the fact that they think the election was rigged. It's the fact that no one is doing anything about it. Special counsel on voter fraud and report in 10 days. Derek, man, they've had 2 months to do this, and they haven't done shit. So I really don't think that's going to make any difference. They've had 2 months to go through and to look into this voter fraud, and they haven't done shit about it. If they had of, half of this wouldn't have happened. The storming the Capitol and all that would not have happened. Because people would have their answer. They would, okay, Supreme Court ruled, it sucks, but okay. Half of them wouldn't have turned up. The Supreme Court is to blame for this. Like I said, it's like the Trump supporters are handing over a file full of information, and the Supreme Court wants to argue about the colour of the binder that you use to store the info. You know, no wonder people are frustrated. No wonder people are fed up with it. Executive order, no, I won't do shit. Executive orders can be overturned by the next president. So executive orders aren't really worth the paper they're written on, which is why I'm generally against presidents in general using them. Because at the end of the day, as soon as the next guy comes in, he can remove it like that. And it's all back to normal.
Up to the Capitol rafters.
We're the American people and we own it. We're not here to destroy. We're just here to make a statement that we're not going to be pushovers and let the government steal an election from us.
So the media will likely spin it as like, something like an attempt to breach the Capitol or something like that. What would you tell them?
They'll say that we're white nationalists and that we're out here trying to destroy stuff, but we're out here peacefully. I haven't seen anyone destroy stuff or tear anything up. We're just out here trying to voice our opinion.
And do you think the police's actions after people breached the Capitol, were they excessive? Were they about right? Or what would you have suggested?
Very excessive. I get police are doing their jobs, but there's got to be a point where they got to stand up for what's right for the American people.
So it looks like the police are now pushing us back. If you want to turn around here, so the police here behind us.
Derek is saying insurrection. Nah, not really, mate. No, it's not insurrection. It's just people that are fed up. People have been watching Antifa for the past 9 months burn cities to the ground, and the police not doing shit about it. So they're like, okay, well we're gonna employ some of the same tactics. If you want to know who's to blame for this, every mayor, every police officer, every police department who didn't do anything, like Chaz, the Capitol Hill occupation zone. How long was that allowed to last? Well, hey, we just have our own Chaz. It just happened to be the white capital, the capital for Washington. So
Killed her.
Yeah.
I watched them push this old lady down. She was maced, couldn't move. She's probably 60 years old. Pushed her down them 2-foot stairs and fell straight down and slammed her. And then they slammed another lady right up against the front, and she didn't even do nothing. I've got it all on film too. So I love you guys. You guys rock.
Thank you. What would you tell? Because I'm sure what the mainstream
blame for it says the mainstream media. Yeah, mainstream media will try and spin up whatever they can. But we'll probably wrap it up here, guys. It's pretty much calmed down now. They're just pushing them away. It seems like the Trump supporters are the peaceful ones. It seems like it was Antifa that might have been actually going through, causing these sort of problems. We had the guy with the horns on his head who's been at the Black Lives Matter rallies and stuff like that. And we have the other guys. We'll just go through it again. Where was it? Yeah, this here. So, seems like it's that. No worries, Derek. Anytime, mate. Anytime. Remember, guys, obviously do subscribe, because obviously anything that does happen will obviously go live if there's anything major. I am going away for the weekend. I'm having a naughty weekend with a lady. So, yeah. Apart from that, guys, obviously thank you everybody who has been here today. Everybody who has watched at a later date. Thank you very much. Apart from that, we'll obviously keep you apprised of anything that does drastically happen. But at the moment, Apart from that, guys, obviously smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, we will see you in the next demonetized video from you.